In this video, I want to show you how to journalize. We've been using T accounts, and T accounts are great to help you figure out what account you should debit, what account you should credit, but it's informal, and I need to show you the formal way of actually recording these transactions. And we're going to use what's called a general journal. But before we do that, let's just do transaction 1. And you should have already done this, but I want to just do it with T accounts and then transfer over to what's called a general journal. So J. Smith, the owner, invested $50,000 into her business. So if she invested $50,000, her cash in bank goes up $50,000, and her capital goes up $50,000. And then take a look. You've got a debit and you have a credit. So what we have, you can still use T accounts if you have to, but let's actually journalize now. And so we're going to use what's called a general journal. And I'm going to journalize that same transaction we just did. J. Smith, owner, invested $50,000 into her business. So the first thing in your general journal, and there's usually a page number. We'll just start with page 1. This will be more important to us once we get to posting. So you're going to put in the date. Let's just use year 2017. Since we are in October, I'm just going to use October for the month. I haven't really ever given you any dates yet, and now I want you to use dates. And transaction 1, I've been calling it transaction 1, 2, 3. I want you to think of those as the dates. So sometimes you could have 2 transactions fall on the same date, which is fine, but keep them separate. So October 1st, and it's very, very important. You put your debit account first, and then you put your credit account. So the account title is going to be cash and bank. Post reference, don't put anything there. And we debited cash and bank for $50,000. Okay, and then right underneath here, we credited the capital. Now I'm going to actually increase the indent because the credit account has to be indented. Okay, so indent it and then you list the capital. I'm going to just indent it one more time just so you can see the difference. If you had 2 debit accounts, you would list both of them right here, and then the credit account, if you had 2, list them right next to each other, but do indent, make sure you indent the credit account, and that was for $50,000. So as you can see, and don't put dollar signs. Excel is just putting the comma in for me. I mean, you can use a comma, but don't use a dollar sign. We know that it is money, okay? So no need to put the dollar sign. And then the next one, we usually use what's called the source document or a description of what happened, okay? So you could put owner invested or owner investment. If you are in regular accounting, you would have maybe have put like memo 1 or the check number or something like that. All right, and then you'll go on to the next one, which let me just use the same one. You paid the electric bill. So if you paid the electric bill, if you have to use T accounts, go ahead. You would have credited the cash in bank. Your cash would have gone down, and you just spent more money in utilities, so your utilities expense goes up. And then stop. You have 1 debit and 1 credit. Okay, so let's go ahead and just journalize that so you know how it looks when you have a little bit, you have another one. So if this happened still in October, and it was October 2nd, you would put a 2 here. If it was October 1st, you would put a 1 there. And then you go ahead and debit your utilities expense for $125. and then you go ahead and credit your cash and bank for $125. And then make sure that you did indent the credit account, okay? And what's really nice is your debit, credit, debit, credit. You can easily see that you actually balance, okay? If you noticed, I didn't skip any lines because you will run out of room in some of your problems if you skip a line, so don't skip a line. And this probably would have been, we probably would have written a check. So this might have been, you could say paid electric bill. If it would have given you a source document, you could have written the check number, whatever the check number was. And then you'd move on. You do not put October again, okay? It's October, we know that until we go to November. Once we get to November, then you can list November. And you don't have to put 2017 again until it becomes 2018.